All right, we live.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you for coming back and seeing us as we talk about what it means to be more than an athlete. I
Right.
am Dr. Latasia Jones, or some people call me Dr. Tay, and I have the amazing collaborator, Mr. Joseph Ward.
Hey, how you doing?
And I'm really excited for today's session. We're going to have our guest today, which is, I like to call her Professor White because she has just elevated in life and she is now a professor at FAMU. But one of my dear friends and sister, Janay White, who's going to come and talk to us about her being an athlete as far as being a dancer and so many other things that she does now. So without further ado, let's bring Miss White on.
Hey.
Hey.
Hi, there you go. That's what's up. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are y'all?
Good.
Excellent.
Thank you for coming. We are so excited to talk to you today.
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm ready to get into it. I'm honored to be on this platform. Sports.
Hey. Look, we're honored to have you. We're honored to have you because there's so many people. Joe and I talk about it all the time. There's so many people that think about going into any type of sport and so on. They don't think about an end goal. They don't think about things they could do along the way. And they don't realize that their passion could be used in so many other ways. And I think you are the perfect example of somebody that's done that along the way and become more than an athlete. So let's not even waste no more time.
I just want to say this real quick. If they consider a golfer an athlete, then dancers are real athletes. Okay,
we certainly are.
So
period.
There we go. All right.
Thank you. So we'll go to the first question, which is, Janay, tell us a little bit about how you started off becoming a dancer, your training and so on. Where were you at when it started? I mean, I know some of the story. First of all, let's start here. I'm excited because I know Janay. She's the first guest we've had, which I already knew a little bit about her background. Joe's been over here talking to all the other guests and having like secret stories. I have a whole background on Janay, so I can say I already know a little bit about that. Go ahead and tell the other people, like Joe.
Yes, Joe. Listen, dance saved my life.
Okay.
So I started dancing at 4 years old, and my first style of dance was tap. In Miami, I was tapping with Miss Nicholas, and then from there, I transitioned to the African Heritage Culture Arts Center, which is a center where the greats are born in Miami. In the arts world, your dancers and your other artists, they are born and groomed at the African Heritage Culture Arts Center. So while I was there, I continued doing tap. I then was introduced to Lindy Hop, jazz, modern, African, and hip hop. So under the direction of Tracy Young Byron and some other choreographers, I was able to get my skills developed and become just this awesome dancer.
Nice.
I had the opportunity to dance with the Miami Heat Junior Jam. Okay. And I did that for about 3 years. So way back when they had a junior squad.
Okay.
And a lot of the dancers in Miami wanted to be a part of the Miami Heat Junior Jam. And I was fortunate enough to be a part of the Heat Junior Jam for a few years. So we did hip hop dance primarily. And during halftime, they would call us and we would put on our show and go back. So that gave me the opportunity to meet with basketball players and, you know, get the behind the scenes. I don't think you knew that, Dr. Tay.
Okay, put it out there.
Okay.
So that was a cool experience. And then I had some more formal training with Pop Stars, which was a dance agency in Miami. If you wanted to dance with artists, that would be the agency, one of the agencies you would go through. So I didn't dance with many artists, but I did audition for Ashanti, didn't get it. But I auditioned for Ashanti, and through another opportunity, I had the opportunity to dance for Raz B with B2K.
Okay.
So I did a couple of shows with him under one of my good friends. So that was kind of my like beginnings of dance. I gave y'all a whole lot, but that's kind of,
this was all before college?
This was all before college.
Okay. Wow. So what age range is this?
So started at 4, and then Pop Stars was around high school. So like 10th, 11th grade, 12th grade.
Okay. And I'm glad you clarified Pop Star, because I was about to be, okay, so which one? So he's like, no, it's a group. Okay.
Yeah, it's a group.
I got you. Now,
you lived a whole life before you even went to college.
Yeah, through dance. And I'm telling you, dance saved my life. It really did.
I want you to go deeper in that, like explain that, because you say it saved your life. Like, what do you literally mean by it saved your life?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm from Miami, Liberty City, and you know, I just had a lot going on as a child. Didn't have too much guidance. Like I had my support system. My mother and my father was in my life, but my dad had his own life going on. My mom had her own life going on. So I was raised by different family members. And as a result, I was just getting into a lot of different things that I shouldn't have been getting into. But because of dance, it kept me off the street. It kept me out of trouble. It kept my legs closed. You know, I didn't get pregnant. But it was only because I was able to be in that mirror most of my time outside of school, because school wasn't my focus at all. I didn't care about school, didn't have aspirations of going to college, wanted to do Alvin Ailey dance company, had no aspirations of college. It just wasn't what I had planned for myself. Dance was my life. Dance saves me from taking the wrong turn in life. So that's what I mean by that.
Nah, I got you. I definitely understand that, because I always say football kept me from, I would have been a drug dealer if I ain't played football, because the streets was right there and it was so appealing, and the dope boys had all the money and ladies and things that we appealed to. So I definitely understand.
Yep.
So
what happened after that? Like, after all that and leading into college, I guess.
Yeah, so my aunt was like, well, what happens if you twist your ankle? I'm like, what? Never thought of that. And she was like, you need something to fall on. Literally, you need something else as a backup plan. And I was just like, all right. And she said, you need to explore college. So around 11th grade, we started looking into schools, and my grades were poor because of life. And I just wasn't focused. But on top of that, life was just really difficult for me as a child and everything that I was experiencing. So school was just not my focus. So FAMU was the only school that accepted me. Shout out to the Rattlers. Thank you, FAMU.
Stop telling my story.
Thank you, FAMU, for letting me with a very low GPA get into the Heights of Seven Hills. So when I got to FAM, I knew I needed to dance. There was no way I could remove myself from that. So I wanted to do something different, right? So FAMU has all these different majorette style dancing, you know, you know, all of that in the stands, right? So I signed up and auditioned and became a member of the Dynamic Supremes at the time. So I did that for about 3 years. And then I had the opportunity to actually get paid to do the pageants, the main pageants, the King and Queen and the Mr. and Miss FAMU pageant. I did the choreography for the introductions of that. So I stayed with the dance while I was in college.
So take us a little bit deeper inside the world of dance. And I want this question for those who may be interested in becoming a dancer, or that's their passion. Like, what type of work and dedication goes into one being a good dancer or even a professional dancer?
Yeah, I would say repetitive, right? So when you're dancing, I'm now teaching tap dance at Beehive Elite here in Tallahassee, and working and grooming the little ones. What I'm trying to get in their head is that you have to do it over and over and over and over again. You can't give up. You have to do it until you perfect it, because it is a moment of perfection. Once you feel comfortable with the dance moves, and once you mastered that routine, then you could kind of just do it with your eyes closed.
Right.
And you should do it with your eyes closed because it becomes a part of you. Movement is a part of us, right? So it takes dedication. You have to be dedicated to it. It's not easy because you have to learn the different types of dance, and it can get very technical, right? So you have to be patient with yourself because you won't get it immediately. But at a point you'll get it, and then it'll just be like riding a bike. You know, you can never forget these different concepts that you learn through dance. It's second nature at a point. So I didn't get to step fully into the professional world because I chose the college route. But you can still do what you're passionate about. And I love dancing, and I probably would dance till I die in some form, showing someone a dance routine or just dancing in my own living room. I'm always going to dance because it brings me joy, brings me pleasure. So.
Okay.
Absolutely. So staying on that transition, because you brought up how, you know, the college route took you in a different direction a little bit.
Yeah.
How was that transition from being a full-on dance is my life to the other parts of my life that I want to explore now?
It just came to me accepting the fact that, you know, going into the professional world isn't where my life is taking me, and just accepting that. Like at a point I was a little upset, like, dang, especially when I started to see my friends just blow up and shine in the dance industry. It's like, dang, I wish I could be there dancing on stage with them behind some of the most well-known artists in the world. But I'm still satisfied with where I am with dance today. So yeah.
And I've actually witnessed that a billion of times, where you'll have a friend that's dancing behind some star or something, and you're like, you would have thought that it was Janay dancing behind the star, how proud she was for that person. So I've definitely seen that a lot of times, and it speaks a lot about your character to be able to say, I was full on 100% dancer. I decided to do these other things, but I can still be just as proud for somebody else who decided to stick with 100% dancing.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. I'm their loudest cheerleader. Like I'm cheering for all of my friends who are just dancing, because they give me life and inspiration to just continue doing what I'm doing in my lane, in my way. Because again, dance is life. Dance is my life, and I will never stop. So yeah.
That's good. That's good. So I'm interested in your mindset at the time. I'm similar to you. I think the only reason I went to class in high school because I knew we was gonna be in there having fun, cracking jokes. Like I wasn't interested in school because interactions with the third grade teacher made. After that, I didn't care about class. So you're going into, well, you're transitioning from a full-time dancer. You're going into college. What's your mindset at the time? Like, how long did it take you to fully accept the fact that, okay, my path isn't going to go down the road of dance. I have to take an alternate route. Like, how long did it take you to just accept the fact that, all right, I'm going to take this college route and I'm gonna make the best of it, but this was my reality right now?
I would say that first semester, as soon as I got involved into a dance group, and I kind of got reconnected, 17 years old, leaving Miami, coming up to Tallahassee, not knowing what's next when it comes to me and dance, and then immediately getting connected to the Dynamic Supremes, it gave me the fuel that I needed. So it didn't take long for me to accept what it was,
Okay.
Was there an aha moment where you were like, okay, I see now. I see that, 100% dancing isn't me anymore, but aha, I got purposes elsewhere. Was there like a moment that you could remember that you could tell us about?
That's a good question. Let's see. I would say, so coming to college, I didn't know what I was going to be doing, right? my auntie's a pharmacist, and she's the only one that's really close to me that went to college. So I was like, I guess I'll be a pharmacist, but that was just not what it was.
Right.
Because you have to have a crazy GPA to get into the pharmacy program at FAM.
Yeah.
Again, I did not have it. I barely got into FAM. So we learned about the food science program. So I got into that. So I didn't really know what I was passionate about. Right. So it was just, all right, I'm dancing. And that gave me all of the energy that I need. And okay, I'm going to these classes because that's what I'm supposed to do. I would say it clicked when I found Girls to Divas, when God blessed me with Girls to Divas. So when Girls to Divas came about, it was like, okay, I can still dance, but it doesn't have to be my entire life as far as my everyday. I can do this Girls to Divas because it's what's most passionate, what's now my passion. Dance will always be my first love, but giving back and mentoring girls and grooming them has become what it is that I do every single day. So
you founded Girls to Divas while you were still at FAMU?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's so cool. Now, before we jump deep into Girls to Divas, because we got to tell everybody about it.
Yeah.
How did you? Because your story is similar to mine, so that's why I'm interested in asking these particular questions. Because when I got to FAM, my first major was agricultural business science, and
really,
you see how your head moves. You see how y'all had that look on your face. I wanted that reaction. So somebody, what is that? Now, I wasn't ready for the follow-up question. Well, what do you do with that? Or so you want to be a farmer? I was like, no. So then I switched to allied health and like that, and I found psychology, and it's like I enjoy this. This is what I should be doing. So, how did you go about finding the social work field and really understanding that this is the realm that I'm supposed to be in?
Yeah, thank you. How could I forget the transition into the social work program? So after being in food science for about 3.5 years, I was like, all right, I'm barely getting by. Okay. Cause I'm taking calculus, I'm taking organic chem, and I'm just flunking. I'm taking D's and F's. I'm like, okay. So one summer I took a social work course. It was African American Families in Social Work, taught by the Dr. Brenda Jarman. And I fell in love. I was like, wait, I can actually graduate and do this, like help people in this way as a social worker. Oh, sign me up. Sign me up. So after that summer semester, I changed my major, and my auntie was like, are you crazy? Like, you've been in school for 3.5 years. I'm like, I'm barely making it too. But I changed my major to social work, and it was the best decision that I made for myself because I am a social worker. I have been serving others since I can remember. So finding social work was the best thing that could happen to me. So.
Right.
Absolutely. I think that's something that we forget in being an athlete, being in sports. You're serving people when you play these sports, when you're fully embedded in these sports and you're doing things. But we don't think of it. A lot of us don't think of it. We just like, oh, it's entertainment, the end. No, people are putting forth their best effort in order to win so that you can cheer on your home team and have a win to walk home with,
Absolutely.
So, or whatever else, or just even with dancing. Dance for me, I could watch a dance show and like, especially African dancing. That's I could watch the whole show and feel like I need to start taking classes or something, But it gives you that type of joy, that's a service. So it doesn't. I guess that's not, now that I'm thinking about it, it's not so distant from you saying, okay, serving people is what I need to do in a bigger scale now.
Absolutely. Dance is therapeutic for the person dancing, but it's also therapeutic for the person that's watching. Like you said, it's taking you through these different emotions based on the type of dance that's being displayed. So you can get joy, you could get sadness, you could get a sense of peace, you could get energized based off of watching someone dance.
Absolutely. Right. The other thing I like about your story, Janay, you talked about like being in college and experimenting education intentionally in college. And I think a lot of times for me, when I went to college, it was when I was told, when I went in one direction, I felt like the pressure to hurry up and figure out what I needed to do before freshman year was over. So it's good to hear from your story that you could be successful and still be figuring things out sophomore, junior year, and so on. You know, like
absolutely,
just stay with it.
Just stick with it. Yeah, right. Don't give up. Don't give up.
Yeah. And it's also attributed to like preparation. And it's funny, like both my parents went to college, but neither one of them had the time to actually prepare us for college because they was working too much. And so like that simple preparation in college. So all right, you're in college, you find social work, you find girls to divas, and you still dancing. So how are you learning to manage all these things that's happening at one time and still grow your wonderful organization?
God, I don't know. I really don't know. It wasn't from my own strength, my own understanding. I would have to give all credit to God because there's no way. Because no one taught me time management. No one taught me, what I was doing. I was just doing it.
Right.
So I can't really say nothing else but God.
Right. Oh, no, I got you. I got you.
He really brought me through because, I needed to have dance in my life in order to get through school.
Right.
I don't know how I would have been able to get through college without going to dance practice and having that same regimen that I had when I was in high school, middle school, elementary, because it's a part of me. Like I needed it.
So I do want to ask this, and this is the question we've asked all of our athletes, and I've told my version of it as well. Being a part of something so long, your identity is wrapped around that, or that is your identity. So did you have an issue? Because I know I definitely did. Did you have an issue being able to see yourself as more than a dancer? And at what point were you comfortable with the whole understanding that I am more than a dancer and I'm more than a dancer? I'm literally more than a dancer. Like, how did that process come about? And did that process come about? And if so, like, how did it come about?
Right.
That I'm more than a dancer. I would have to say the college experience, just having the ability to come to college and be introduced to more than dance, because again, dance was all that I knew. So my college experience opened my eyes and gave me the understanding that I could do more than dance, that I could actually use this brain of mine and put it to work. And when I got into social work, it was even just more natural, creating programs, managing programs, and just being a social worker, finding resources for other people, that allowed me to see that, well, I can be good at and great at something else outside of dance. So.
Right. Yeah. That's a good revelation. And a good place to be.
I never thought of that until y'all asked me.
Yeah. That's like kind of what we want to push with this, because I know for me, being an athlete, like football was a part of my life since I can remember, like 5 years old. And my whole thing was going to college doing this and going to the next level. And then when I got to college and it didn't work out, I was literally lost for like 2 or 3 years. Like what am I going to do? Because it's like I'm in college. I don't want to sell no drugs, but I don't really want to be in college. How can I make the best of my situation? Just kind of fumbling through until I found psychology. So that's unfortunate, because you can lose a lot of people with that process there. So.
Yeah. Did you, I know this isn't my platform, but did you play football, like not with the team, but just outside on your own?
Yes, we had flag football team. So we traveled around Tallahassee and South Georgia area playing different teams and flag football tournaments and things. So that kind of sustained us, but it was still like, dang, I want to be on the field with the team. So,
right. Yeah.
Okay.
That brought up something. Dance. I'm thankful that y'all invited me on this platform, because a lot of people don't see dance as a sport.
Right.
And it is very much high endurance, high energy. Everybody can't do it. It takes a special set of skills to know how to dance, to be a dancer. So I'm appreciative that y'all brought me on the platform to speak from a dancer's point of view, because it's one of those, we're not respected when it comes to the sports industry, in the sports world, because we're just dancers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think the big thing, and I kind of want you to speak on it, you use dance as a form of teaching and empowering people as well. So can you like give us some of the examples? I've taken Janay's class before. Let me put that out there, okay? Yes, it's high endurance. Yes, you have to come in there ready, because she's no like beginner. So she has a floor and all types of stuff. So talk to us. Tell us what do people get out of you teaching, your dance classes, the various ones that you have, to them?
Yeah. So a couple of years ago, I picked up pole dance, but I kind of put it down. But what I continued to do was just the art of seduction. Understanding that us as women, well, me first, it started with me, just embracing my body and my sexuality. I wanted to get that right. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be sexy for Janay and know how to do these sexy floor moves on the floor and standing up. And at a point, I wanted to share with others, because I'm not a stingy person. I want to share this. Like, look, ladies, we can empower ourselves through dance, and just by like, rolling our shoulders real slow. We can do this all by ourselves. And we don't necessarily have to do it for anybody else. We can do it for us. So through that, I started the Hills experience, and Dr. Tay had the opportunity to take a couple of classes. So just bringing women together. And before we get started, we make a big circle and we start snapping, and we're speaking life into the circle, saying that we're beautiful, we're sexy, we're smart, we're intelligent, we can do anything, just affirming anything that the ladies would like to affirm while we're in the circle. And then we get to work. We turn on our slow music, and I teach them a routine, and I'm walking around and encouraging them, because a lot of women are shy. But at the end of the class, they're like, oh, I'm ready. I'm ready for whatever. And then at the end of the class, we look in the mirror and we do affirmations again in the mirror. So it's a powerful experience. I miss it. I haven't done it in a few months, but I'm looking forward to working that back in my schedule, because it empowers me as I empower them. So I need that. I need that. We all need that.
We do. You have me leaving like, I wish I had a man at home, but I would have showed him that.
That's what's up. I think that's real cool, being able to utilize dance to empower people just overall, but also to teach lessons and help people to get more in tune with themselves. We live in a society that so dumb, especially when it comes to sexuality. It's just like, all right, women, you just supposed to take all this objectification and like it. And it's like, they human beings too. So we got to do it a little different. But being able to utilize different forms of dance, because now you got me thinking about different movies that I've seen, and just different documentaries and different cultural ways of using dance as a way of seduction, as a way of riling up sexual energy and doing different things in a productive manner, and also it being in an environment that is not looked at as a perversion or something like that.
Right.
And that needs to be displayed more. So I'm glad you're doing that.
I agree. And it's actually one of the things about myself that I keep on the hush, because of who I am. And, I mentor little girls. So I remember early on getting a little heat from some folk because of me showing ladies how to, get sexy, but it's a part of us as women. And I feel like we need to embrace that part of us as well.
You're an adult. You're a responsible adult who's doing what you're supposed to do. You take care of the people in the community. You always helping other people. So whoever told her that, look, Joseph Ward said, if she want to dance, how she want to dance, she gonna do that. If you got a problem, you got to come see me. All right.
Oh Lord.
And that's our joy board.
There you go.
Speaking on that, yes, you do have classes for ladies, the older adults.
Yes,
but
for grown
you also
women.
have classes for the kiddies, the youth. So how are you helping them when you have those classes? And what classes do you have for them? And then what are your future? I guess you have other things that you're working on too.
Yeah. So I teach tap at Beehive. Sorry. I teach tap at Beehive, and occasionally I'll get a request to travel at either a local dance company or one out of the state. And I really want to do more of that, where I can go into a dance company, teach them a routine, but before we get into the routine, empower them. So yeah.
So you all around empowerment.
Right. So with that being said, not only being able to teach young ladies how to dance and different dance moves, but you're using Girls to Divas teach young ladies how to become the greatest versions of themselves.
Absolutely.
So for those who've been living under a rock and don't know what Girls to Divas is, can you just let everybody know what Girls to Divas is as an organization, when you founded it, and why you felt the need to found the organization?
Yes, Girls to Divas. Girls to Divas is a free mentoring program now for 5th through 12th grade girls. Divas is an acronym that stands for Driven, Initiative, Virtuous, Astounding, and Successful.
Okay.
So we provide one-on-one mentoring, monthly enrichment workshops, community service opportunities, educational field trips, tutoring, a summer camp, a book club. We're busy. And we do all of this for free. And it's only because of the grace of God and our amazing support system. Tallahassee has been holding us down and helping us be who we are. We're actually in our 10th year now.
Wow.
Yay.
Congratulations. 10 years. Yes.
Yes. This is our 10th year. Actually, Dr. Jones, she was around when we needed her the most, and she really helped support the organization. She gave it her all while she was pursuing her doctorate. I don't know how she did it, but she gave her mentee her all, really spent a lot of time with her, and built a relationship that they still have today, which is beautiful. And that was the whole purpose of the organization, to bring a mentor together with a mentee so that they can have a relationship, because support is all we need. Support is all our girls need to get to whatever level they wish to achieve in life. They just need a little bit of support. So thank you, Dr. Tay, for being such a great support system.
She's so sweet.
Yes, she is. But I started Girls to Divas back in 2011, and I was still in school working on my BSW, Bachelor in Social Work. And Girls to Divas was really birthed from a place of me. I believe that everything that I do is for a purpose, and it's connected to my own purpose. It's connected back to me, and to help me grow and heal. So Girls to Divas was one of the blessings that helped me grow and heal. So because I grew up and dealt with bullying, because I came from, a lot of people come from dysfunctional families. My family was just the same. But it caused a lot of issues that I didn't have anyone to talk to about. When you're going through things, you don't want to talk to your mom. You don't want to talk to your dad, especially if they are a part of what you're going through. So I didn't have an outlet, and I didn't feel comfortable talking to anybody in my family. If I had an outlet, I probably would have made some different choices. But as a result, God put it on my heart to start Girls to Divas so that girls won't have that same experience, and they can have someone outside of their family to talk to about what it is that they're going through. So that's how Girls to Divas came about. Our girls need mentors. Tallahassee needed another mentoring program. There can never be enough mentoring services. Girls to Divas can't serve all of Tallahassee. So there needed to be more mentoring programs working with our girls, providing them with support, leadership, just development. So
Right. And for people that are listening in or watching, you mentioned that Girls to Divas is a free program. And usually when people mention free anything, it's like the rinky dink bottom of the well type giveaway. What all I know. But I want to make I want to make sure you have this opportunity to tell what the girls experience while in Girls to Divas, like field trips, the programs that you do, and so on. Because I've been there, I've seen it, but I want to make sure you know this ain't no rinky dink giveaway.
Oh, right. Nah, this ain't no rinky-dink organization. We're giving them the absolute best that they deserve. So they come into the program, and the very first workshop that we do is self-awareness, right? Just making sure that they understand who they are. What do they want? Who do they want to be? What do they want to do? And they do that by looking in the mirror first and identifying 3 things about themselves that no one could see. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, I see that you have pretty eyebrows, long eyelashes, beautiful skin, but look a little deeper, dig a little deeper and share with us what nobody else sees. And some girls find it very hard to do. Some girls are afraid to look at who they see in the mirror. Mm-hmm. So just accepting, giving them the opportunity to look in the mirror and support them while they're looking in the mirror, to let them know the person that they're looking back at is wise, is beautiful, can become whoever she wants to become, is very empowering. And that's how we kick off every year. So we get into a whole lot of skills. We even introduce them to automotive education. So one summer we had Pep Boys come out, and I opened up my hood, and he was just like, well, this is where your oil is, and this, and this is how you change a tire. So really just educating them however we can so they could be self-sufficient and be able to do for themselves and meet somebody that can add to that, of course, but be in a position so that they can take care of themselves in this world. So, yeah.
Nah,
look. I like that. I really like that, especially because I think about some girls, like you said, sometimes the problem is the parents for the girls. So if, for instance, if they're divorced or maybe dad or mom hasn't been there, you teaching those skills helps them to say, I can rely on myself. Like, I don't have to settle for a man that's not going to do me right just so I can get my oil changed. I know how to get my oil changed. I know where it's at on the car, you know? So that's a nice skill set that you're providing in their development.
Absolutely. So, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I mentioned the field trips. Dr. Tay kind of spoke to it just a little bit, but we do some great field trips with the Divas. We try to do field trips that aren't traditional. We try to do very non-traditional field trips. So we took them to the airport, and not only did we take them to the airport, we also took them to the hangar. Which I didn't know anything about until, Girls to Divas. I didn't know anything about hangar. That was just above me. But, I learned about the hangar lifestyle, and we actually saw a jet. The Divas got to get inside and check it out. It was real cool. So that was one of the field trips. One of my girlfriends owns a dentistry in town called Tiny Teeth of Tallahassee. Shout out to Dr. Astrid Gonzalez. And Tiny Teeth of Tallahassee, she allowed us to come through, and we made teeth molds. So I sprinkled a little gold on mine just because, who doesn't like to pull out every now and then. So the Divas enjoyed that. Some of the Divas were then inspired to become a dentist after that field trip. So exposure. Tiffany Hamilton allowed us to be realtors for the day. She took us to her beautiful office, showed us everything, treated us like royalty, and then took us to a brand new home, and we walked through it. She showed us what it's like to sell a home, and then flipped it around and allowed the Divas to be the realtor. And it was so amazing. And now some Divas want to be realtors as a result. So it's all about exposure, right? Supporting.
Yeah. Nah, you even allowed me to come in a couple times and speak to the young ladies. So of course. So from my perspective as a man, I think what you're doing is awesome with the young ladies, because you're giving them experiences and information from various realms of life. Like the last time I came out to do a presentation, before I went, you had can't think of his name. Name just escaped my mind, but he was doing the self-defense classes.
Orlando.
Yes, Mr. Orlando.
Uh-huh.
And but what was so cool about what he taught them, he wasn't trying to teach them like no Bruce Lee, Karate Kid, wax on, wax off. You got to stand on your tippy toes and your head and do this. Simple stuff. Somebody comes up, put your arm up, be able to block it, be able to defend yourself. Just simple, practical things that the young ladies could do, but also understanding how that empowers them from the inside out to feel like I can protect myself.
Right.
That's empowering just from the beginning. But not only that, but being able to have conversations with them about self-esteem, about self-image. How do you view yourself? What do you think about? What do you say about yourself? And then being able to see a couple come in. So Kevin and Micaiah Warren coming in, you get to see a healthy relationship and have them be, because both of them gonna be real with you. So have them be real with you about the ups and downs of real relationships, not like the Disney Channel relationships. Like, no, you could be laying in the forest, ain't nobody just gonna come save you. That's not real. But getting the real experiences though. So I mean, kudos to you, because that's gonna go a long way for those young ladies.
Thank you. No, Joseph, we appreciate you agreeing to come through every year and support Girls to Divas.
No problem. No, you just call me with I be there. Ain't no issue.
I'll be there.
There you go.
So along with Girls to Divas, like we all now at this point, everybody should know what Girls to Divas is about and your passion work and all the stuff that you do through programming and stuff with Girls to Divas. But even outside, I've seen you hosting events and so on that has like a parallel purpose to Girls to Divas and other outreach activities. Can you talk more about some of those things that you do?
Yeah. So y'all going through my whole resume. And my dance resume too, which was pretty cool. I never get to talk about dance, so I appreciate it. So because I consider myself a servant, my tags on social media is humbly yours, because I try to live a very humble life and I try to live a life of serving others. So I just wanted to make that a part of my life and encourage others to do the same. So as a result, I came up with the community plug. So in this capacity, I am a consultant, where you pretty much share with me what it is that you want to do as an individual. If you have a business, if you're an influencer, artist, rapper, whoever you are, if you want to serve the community, I want to create that playbook for you, that roadmap to get you into the community, because no matter who you are, you should be serving somebody else. So I've had the opportunity to do a couple events in Tallahassee, and most recent, a rapper, shout out to Eric McNeil, in the Arcane record label, I was able to put on an event called Christmas in the Hood. That was here in Tallahassee. I also had an opportunity to do an event with a beautiful woman by the name of Sharonda Armstrong in Louisiana, New Orleans. We did an event during Thanksgiving. So just, again, curating opportunities for service, for serving others. It could be a one-time thing. We can do it every year. We can do it a couple of months, however you want to do it. Just contact me, and I'll put my brain to work and produce a give back experience like no other. So
right. Now, one of the dopest things about you, from my perspective, is you be in the hood when I be in the hood, and I for real, like everybody's like that. I got a certain level of respect for you, because you're serving the forgotten people. You're in areas serving people where. We growing up, your parents will tell you stay away from these areas. But as a community servant, like when I'm we literally like in here, somebody was just shooting over here last week, but I'm out here, and then here you go. I'm like, look at Janay out here. So, but hats off to that. But there are a lot of people who want to get active in the community, but have no idea how to get started or what they should do. So what advice or what tips would you give to someone who wants to be active in the community, wants to make a difference, but may not know how to start?
Absolutely. That's a good question. I would say go from where you're most passionate. Like start where your passion lies. So if your passion is dance, if your passion may be something of a result of someone passing away. So now you have an interest in pancreatic cancer. Start where your passion lies. Like, what is it that you know that you can do that will make a difference for somebody else? Just start there. Like if somebody had a little bit more education on this, or if somebody knew how to do this, you can be that change maker. And you could bring about that resource to the community or bring about that change.
Right.
So, yeah. Start with what you're passionate about. Start with what you're passionate about.
Yeah. Cool.
And before we get too far, if anybody wants to find out more information about Girls to Divas, and then even if they want to utilize your services as a community consultant, how do they get in touch with either one of those? Are they different types of networks, different information, or?
Yeah, so Girls to Divas has its own network, girls, the number 2, divas.org. You can find all things Girls to Divas. We are looking for help. Okay. We're 10 this year and we need help, y'all. We want to really shake up the world and let people know what we've been doing. So we need videographers, we need photographers, we need volunteers just to be a part, because we have a lot that's going to be coming out this year and we need some support. So visit our website and you could put in an inquiry and we'll get back in touch with you. Now, if you want to contact me directly and my efforts outside of Girls to Divas, you could visit humblyyours.janay.com. Humbly, HUMBLY, yours, Janay, JANAY.com. And you can find out all that I have going on.
Cool. Now that's amazing. So digging deeper into your bag of all that you do for the community.
Right. We're not finished.
So you became a assistant professor of social work at FAMU.
Yes, visiting assistant professor. Yes.
So, for somebody who going through school, your grades wasn't the best, your focus in school wasn't the best. You like me, didn't really like school, and you've come a long way. So how does somebody who does not like school become a professor? How does that happen?
Right.
You fall into what it is that you're passionate about. It's always about passion. Passion would just lead you to everywhere you need to go. So social work is really just how I live my life. I'm always trying to connect somebody to the resource. I'm always trying to help somebody else. So knowing that, I haven't been in the field that long. I got in the field back in, when did I graduate? 2012. So it hasn't been that long since I've been out in the field serving, but since being in the field, I've been hitting the ground running. So when you find that passion, stick with that passion, drive that passion, push that gas. And that's all I've been doing, is pushing the gas in the world of social work and helping others. So, I've had opportunity to come back and speak as a guest speaker on campus at FAMU. And I've just been awarded the opportunity to be a professor, a visiting assistant professor at FAMU in the social work program. So you can do it.
Hey,
don't let nobody tell you can't do it.
Right. Congratulations. So one more question on that. What kept you going through school? Why didn't you just say, you know what, I'm not doing the school stuff no more, forget college? Because you got a master's degree as well. So what kept you going through to even push and get your master's?
Yeah, so after getting through the Bachelor of Social Work program, and just understanding the world we live in, you have to have your master to get more money, to get better positions. So that's what I wanted. I wanted to be in a better position. I wanted more money. So I had to go after that master. So that kind of just pushed me through. Also, as I was exiting the bachelor program, which is where Girls to Divas was started, when I got in the master program, the education helped me build Girls to Divas even more, built it stronger. Excuse me.
Okay.
With the education I was receiving, then I was able to pour it right back into Girls to Divas as I was learning it.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay.
Right. I like that you said that, because you were essentially saying that you improved yourself to feed into your passion a little bit more than you would have if you would have stopped where you were at.
Yeah.
It's nice to have that.
That's what's up.
Oh, and can I say, with Girls to Divas, so we have an arts component, and with the arts component, we do some dancing and stepping with them, because I know how important it is to have that outlet. Dance was my outlet, and our girls need an outlet to express themselves. So it didn't have to necessarily be dance, but we do dance too in Girls to Divas.
So that's why I thought it was really important to make sure you mentioned this free program is not a rinky-dink program. You're getting all these things, like your daughter, niece, cousin, whatever, is essentially going to be empowered, going to learn self-identity, confidence, have a mentor, and then go on these field trips that teaches her more and more about, being in her own self and being better for herself. And then now she gets to learn how to dance. Like, there's so many things on top of it for free. So I'd be surprised if, I want to actually join. Like, I know I was a mentor. But the more I talk about it, I'm like, can you lift the age requirement?
You want to be a diva? Right.
Future work.
That's cool. All right. So you had another thing on your plate. Stemming While Black. You hosted Stemming While Black.
Yes.
So what, both of you, help us understand what's Stemming While Black, and like, what was your experience being a host of that platform?
Dr. Tay, you want to tell him?
Well, I think it's funny because Janay can actually tell us herself, because in the process of working with her, I found out Janay used to work in a lab in her past life. And that's one thing, something else that a lot of people don't know about her. But Stemming While Black is a network and a organization that I founded this past year in June to create more of a camaraderie, a unity and guidance and network for future leaders in STEM, coming from only Black STEM leaders. So providing a platform where only Black STEM leaders could utilize to provide guidance in reference to imposter syndrome, microaggressions, discrimination, anything and everything that essentially holds minorities back when it comes to excelling in STEM careers, academic programs, and so on. And Professor White has been an amazing host. And it was funny how I asked her, and she was like, I don't know what I'm gonna talk to these people about. but for some reason, I just knew that Janay, with that outreach personality, and then with her like eagerness to make sure things are right, and she always finds the most important things in a storyline to make sure it is talked about. So Janay, yes, is the host.
Yes. So that amazing platform that Dr. Tay created last year really pushed me because I've never been like over a panel before. Right. So, I didn't see how me as a social worker was going to tie into this Stemming While Black. But I appreciate the opportunity because I'm able to speak from a point of view that no one else at the table can, which allows me to connect dots that no one else probably would be able to, because they're just thinking STEM. But I'm thinking social services, people, STEM as well. Yeah. So it's just been an amazing opportunity to meet all these doctors and who are out here making such an impact. And what I can run my mouth about, is mentoring. So I love when we get to that part of the conversation, because I'm just like, all right, so I understand that you're doing this in your community when it comes to serving others and mentoring. Could you tell us more about that? So just, I guess I'm a pretty good fit for it. In a couple opportunities, we had a co-host. I had a co-host, so it's been good.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. I got one more question, because if you could go back to talk to young Janay in Liberty City, like you're in a dream or something, and you get to come, Janay now get to go back and talk to young Janay in Liberty City, and you could give her advice on successfully navigating through the world, what type of advice would you give her to make sure she's the greatest version of herself?
Wow. Man, I would say so much to my younger self. I would probably first start with saying to use your voice. I feel like, I know for a very long time I didn't use my voice. And it was because of just life circumstances and my voice being pushed down and muted for such a long time. I wish I could go back and tell myself, no, go ahead and speak, girl. Use that voice, use that strong voice, and get across whatever it is, because whatever you're going to open your mouth and say, you're not having the intentions to hurt anybody. You're just wanting to support and love on people. Use that voice and don't let anybody shut you up.
Right.
And that's the name of your book. Now that we're discussing it, Speak Girl is the name of your book. When you do your biography, because everything that you do is essentially allowing girls to learn how to speak for themselves, to speak up for themselves, to be empowered enough to speak. So, girl, there you go. Give me some. Write me into some of that royalties or whatever else you get.
Right. And you already know you got an interview waiting on you when you drop that book. So let's do it.
That part.
Thank you. Yeah. Y'all are too much.
Thank you for your contribution to the Tallahassee community, to the world, to the young girls. Because you could have chose to do anything. You could have chose to only focus on yourself. You could have chose to just whatever, but you said, I want to make sure I give back. I want to help. You're not even from Tallahassee.
No.
And that's the thing. Like, you don't have to be out here in these streets with these people, but you see the value in giving back overall, and how helping this person can help this person can help this person, and it spreads. So from somebody who's from Tallahassee growing up, if services like this was available, we had no idea. So I do want to thank you on behalf of my city and my communities, because you're definitely helping to make this city a better place.
Absolutely. Tally is my second home. I've been here since 17. I'm 31 now. Still a young tenderoni out here, but but no, I'm very thankful and blessed that God planted me here for a little while to give back and do what I do so naturally. So, and I thank you all for this platform, giving individuals the opportunity to share more about themselves outside of what it is that they love to do, which is sports, which is for me dance, and now falling in love. You can have more than one love, falling in love with other interests. So
absolutely.
She's the incredible Janay White. Y'all, look, if you don't know, now you know. Girls to Divas, don't forget it. She's the community plug. Say your Instagram handles and stuff again.
Yes, so Instagram handles at Humbly Yours Janay, at Girls to Divas _mentoring, at the community plug.
Right.
Maybe your community plug.
Yeah. Check her out. Make sure you support her.
Yes. Well, thank you again so much for coming on today, Janay, and talking to us and letting the world know who you are and what you do. I think it's very important to make that known, and thank you for showing up and doing that.
Thank you. Thank you again. I appreciate y'all, and much success to you two and your endeavors. I'm watching y'all, and I'm always cheering y'all on. And just a phone call away if y'all ever need me. Y'all are definitely making a whole lot of noise, bringing people together. It's just a powerful thing. So y'all keep it up, and I'm here for y'all.
Thank you. Thank you. And with that being said, we'll see y'all later.
Bye.